Imagine this. You walk into the movie theater excited to see your favorite film, but instead of sitting in the front row, you're forced to go straight to the back because of the way you look. The screen is small and unenjoyable. You have to bring your own snacks. But soon after, you see the front row get free popcorn. Injustice and inequality. Apartheid was a system of racial segregation and discrimination against the South African people. Although racial segregation was sanctioned by law and widely practiced in South Africa before 1948, the National Party, led by Daniel F. Malin, labeled it apartheid. But what did this mean for the South African people? Each person was classified into three categories: Bantu, Colored, and White by the Population Registration Act. This law, sanctioned by the government, established residential and business areas being defined by race, leading to the thousands of blacks, coloreds, and Indians being removed from the sections of white occupation. These acts were referred to as land acts. Apartheid has a rich history with many important events that affected everyone, but in the middle of this contract, one man stood out: Nelson Mandela. A South African-born, successful lawyer and founder of countless social campaigns, Nelson Mandela fought for decades against the white supremacist apartheid sanction with dedication and perseverance to help his country on a path of solitude and courage. However, Mandela was arrested and incarcerated for opposing the apartheid and sentenced to 27 years. But this became a symbol of resistance, and after his release in 1990, it sparked a new hope for change. As the leader of the political party ANC, or African National Congress, he fought for the reconciliation and negotiation. On May 10, 1994, Nelson Mandela was appointed the first black president of South Africa and stayed in office until June 16, 1999, causing the negotiations to dismantle apartheid laws. These negotiations included secret talks with people behind the scenes, private and public conventions with ANC, and working with CODESA, or Convention for a Democratic South Africa. I hope you were listening, because I have one extremely important question for you. What does apartheid mean? A. Laws against racial segregation and discrimination. B. Nelson Mandela. C. Laws enforcing discrimination and racial segregation. The answer is C. Good job. Now, amidst the apartheid laws, people were outraged. Anarchy was at an all-time high. Others strived for change. But what was it like before and after this rule in terms of societal organization? Long before apartheid, ancient human settlements in southern Africa shaped diverse identities, beginning with the Khoisan and later included Bantu-speaking groups like the Zulu and Xhosa. European colonization and apartheid disrupted these identities, leading to the decline of some groups. The period leading up to the apartheid explores how identities in South Africa changed. Black South Africans came together to fight against oppression, while Afrikaners, or white Africans, grew resentful of British South Africans after the Boer War. New laws were created to control black people and enforce segregation, denying them basic rights. In 1948, the Heritage National Party took power, supported by a powerful group called the Afrikaner Broederbond, and officially established the name apartheid, reinforcing racial divisions and ensuring white control over the country. Before apartheid, South African society upheld norms that favored white people and promoted racial segregation. Values centered on maintaining white dominance, while black South Africans faced strict laws that limited their rights, restricted their movement, and enforced separation in schools, jobs, and land ownership. You could say the apartheid laws seemed almost inevitable for South Africa. During apartheid in South Africa, a strict racial hierarchy placed white people at the top, giving them control over political power, economical resources, and key decisions. The white minority enforced racial classifications that determined the lives of black and colored populations. The social contract upheld by this system promised benefits to whites in exchange for the oppression of non-whites, creating a deep, systematic inequality that shaped every part of life. Before and after apartheid, South Africa was ruled by a white minority government that enforced racial capitalism, benefiting white people while exploiting and marginalizing black and colored communities. This authoritarian regime was based on the ideas of racial superiority and segregation. After apartheid ended in 1994, a new democratic government aimed to implement the Reconstruction and Development Program, RDP, to reshape the economy and tackle social injustices. However, the new leaders faced challenges due to limited state capacity and reliance on market forces, which led to the ongoing inequality and economical concentration. The shift in ideology focused on inclusivity and social justice, but the implementation struggled to address the deep-rooted inequities from the apartheid era. In conclusion, South Africa's transition from apartheid to democracy highlights a complex fight for justice and equality. Under apartheid, a white minority enforced racial segregation, exploiting black and colored communities, creating systematic inequality. Nelson Mandela became a symbol of hope, leading the struggle for freedom and reconciliation. After apartheid ended in 1994, the new government aimed to address these injustices through the Reconstruction and Development Program. As we reflect on this history, it's important to consider how we can learn from South Africa's experiences to create a fairer and more balanced society today. What actions can we take to tackle inequalities in our community right this second?